You guys thought this was just going to be some sort of novelty. Well, you're right. And it's here to stay. Not for the whole episode, just because I like holding a foot. Welcome back to the Scale Builders Guild. Thanks again for watching. It's episode 165. Is that true? It's episode 164? It's episode 164 of What's on the Bench Weekly. And if you're not familiar with this show, it's where I take you through the projects that I'm working on. And every week is a different week. There's always something new. This week, here's the Vanquish H10 Optic with the Night Customs Terra Recon package on it. And this truck also happens to have a FPV system from Ironquad. And Ironquad was very generous and donated this to the channel. I've used it on a number of trucks, including the Traxxas Modified. Pretty cool video right up here. So go check that out at your leisure. Really excellent way to drive and race through FPV. I mean, I'm using a VR headset on my PlayStation 5 for Gran Turismo. It's kind of the same level of immersion because the camera is inside where you would be if you were this small and driving one of these. So it's a very cool way to do things. This is sort of like my test bed H10. I've done a few things to it, including adding the Proline Rocktech weighted inserts in the front tires, which is a really cool setup. And I'm excited to get this one out and actually give it a real proper test. I haven't actually done that yet because life gets in the way. However, there will be some things coming very soon with this. One of those things is ready to go. I've been printing the Jersey Scaler 82R body set for the H10 Optic, and that is to sort of mimic a Toyota. And here it is right here. Look at this guy. I've done some weathering to it, and that's one of the things we're going to be talking about today because weathering is cool and weathering is fun. And shiny trucks are nice, but sometimes it's nice to make a real POS, if you know what I mean. So let's go through all of these little bits and pieces right now. This is a great set of prints. Very easy to print. There's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 pieces to print in total. It's like a day of printing, if that. Not even really. Especially on a newer printer like a Bamboo Lab H2C. Which is an excellent printer. What I do want to kind of go over here is that I've printed this in ABS, so it will be very resistant to heat, which is excellent because you want heat resistance in your prints, especially if they're going to be outside sitting in the sun for any length of time. There's a couple of extra pieces that are still on the way. Headlights, for example, LEDs for that. The really cool thing though, you may see there's some weathering that's happening, some rust effects. And you can really see it on the side panels here. There's also a bunch of washes and other things that are going on, but the important part is the actual weathering effect. Now, this weathering effect is something I did differently this time. It's something I've never really done before, but wanted to try. Prior to painting, after priming all of these pieces and sanding, because you want them to be smooth, your prints don't have to show layer lines. Sand them out. You don't want to see them. Nobody wants to see them. Spend some time on your prints, sand them. Don't look at this. This was done quickly. Proof of concept, demo purposes to show you what can come right off a printer. However, with a little bit of prep, you can get nice, clean, smooth panels like this. What I did after priming was I attached little tiny pieces of ripped up masking tape to the areas in where I wanted to show a big chunk of rust. And you know how rust forms? It forms under the paint, pops the paint off, and then you've got this sort of like recessed portion where the paint is gone and the rust is left behind. So in order to achieve that, I was like, well, how do we get depth on something that isn't going to show much? Well, put the masking tape down in nice kind of irregular areas, and then paint, and then clear coat, and then remove that masking tape to reveal a little bit of depth. And that's what I did. After that, we filled in all those areas with a little bit of rust paint, or well, rust effects from Vallejo. Vallejo Environmental Rust texture. And it actually is a textured paint, and it is acrylic, so it goes on really easily. I very carefully painted that into those areas, and then did some brush and sponge painting of the rust around it. Then I did a couple of other colors of rust with a wash. Then I clear coated everything in so it stays intact. And then after that, then I used an AK Interactive enamel grime coat and then washed most of that away with a paper towel. And you can see, gives you a pretty convincing look. And I think it shows really best on a truck like this, which has, you know, significant amounts of weathering and kind of grime and crust and just kind of overall grossness in it. And it looks really good. I'm really excited to get all of these panels on the H10 Optic to see how it's all going to come together. One other thing I did, and I think I showed this last week, was I actually added some texture to this At Ease RC print for the rear bed. I wanted it to look like wood, and weathered wood at that. And using the bumpmesh.com website, I was able to add this nice grainy wood texture to this rear bed portion. And then I used a couple of washes to give it a bit of a weathered, aged kind of look. I'm pretty happy with how that turned out. Also, using my SVG trick, I added an actual logo into the rear of the bed. Kind of completes the whole look if you ask me. So let's get this on the truck, see how it actually looks. And there you have it. Now it's a Toyota, or Toyota adjacent. I actually quite like this. I think Jersey Scaler did a really nice job on this. He's also responsible for the Porigen, which is a funny name for another set of panels that make it look a bit like that guy up there. But yeah, I'm really pleased with this. I think it's really, really cool. It's nice to see all that weathering kind of come together. I'm pretty happy with that. Another little touch that I forgot to mention, these tail lights I did print on the Bamboo H2C in multiple colors of filament. We've got clear, transparent red, transparent clear, and transparent orange to make up a proper Toyota tail light, which I'm pretty happy about. Super easy to do that with the painting function in the slicer. Not a complicated process at all, but if you're interested in something like that, put a comment down below. I'll show you how to do it in an upcoming episode. But there you go. Yeah. Good looking body set. This is available, of course, on youmagine.com. I will have links down below to this and all the things that we talk about in today's episode. All right, so there you go. Looking pretty cool. We'll get this one out. There is a roof option. I don't know, for whatever reason, because it's a cage buggy, I just prefer to have just like a roof rack or something up there. I think that always looks better for whatever reason. You tell me, maybe I should put the roof on there. All right. We'll get this buttoned up with the lights in probably by next week's episode, maybe the week after. And then we'll take it out for some runs. Okay, on to the next thing. I forgot to mention the inspiration for this specific Toyota execution, I guess if you can call it that, was one of my original long ago trucks. I think it was like 15 years ago. It was a 1980s Toyota truck, the Tamiya body on a Bruiser chassis, leaf sprung, the real deal. It was a very old build, and there was a driver in it, and the name of the truck was Turk Winkelstein. So look that up on the forums. That's where the inspiration for this one came from. All right, on to the next thing for realsies this time. Speaking of FPV and Iron Quad, they did send me their latest. This is the Yo Micro HD FPV kit, and it comes with everything you need to get started in FPV, full HD, sound recording. It's basically a plug-and-play system, very easy to use, and this is the entire unit right here. This little guy, this is the camera, the transmitter, and everything all in one. It's a really nice little setup, and what they sort of intended this to be used for is anything. You can just, in their words, slap it on something and off you go. You're FPVing, which is a really nice setup. And I mean, in comparison to the other Iron Quad setup that I have here, this one is obviously Explorer HD, and it's in there for good. It's a whole standalone system with a gimbal and everything there, and it's not easy to get in and out of a vehicle. Once it's in, I'm sort of like, it's staying in there. So to have something this small is very handy and very cool. I'm excited to try this out. One of the things that I want to do before I do that though is create a little magnet mount, because you could use double-sided tape, that's fine, sure, but it's not very clean. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the existing mounting holes on the bottom here, design something up in Fusion 360, add some magnets and a kind of like one plate that goes underneath and then another plate that's attached to this, so that way it just snaps into place and stays put. Instead of using double-sided tape, possibly marring your paint, this is going to be a much better solution. So I'm going to model that up and print it out and get some magnets put together before we do it. But I'm really excited to give this a try. Ironquad has done some amazing stuff for just plug and play setups. Not only do you get the camera and the transmitter in this little package, you also get the goggles, and that's important. You kind of need to have these in order to make the whole system work. Nice little setup here from Caddy FPV, and nice, like really good, easy ergonomic design. And you just slap that on there and off you go. There's no head tracking with this model. The other more premium edition does. The more premium FPV system in this truck does have head tracking, which is very cool. I love that. This is a little more basic, but certainly going to be a great starter system, especially if you just want to slap it on like a Mini Z or a drift car and try drifting in FPV. That's going to be wild, but we'll definitely do that. Along with the goggles, you get a number of cables that you'll need, a bunch of different adapters for batteries, and a quick start guide. So everything you need all in one box. And I'm super stoked to get this going. Thank you to Ironquad for sending me the Yo HD. Yo HD, I'm driving here. Yeah, we'll get this going once I create that mount. By next week's episode, I'll give you some examples of what this looks like and the footage that can come out of it as well. All right, so there you go. All right, on to the next thing, which is sticker sheets. Today is Friday. If you're watching this Friday, if you are a ding dong, you've already watched this and probably already ordered your stickers, because I'm giving ding dongs advance notice. And that's a great segue into becoming a channel member. You'll get access to all sorts of behind the scenes content, tips and tricks, how-tos, travel logs, and early access to sticker sheets. These are, of course, the bumper stickers. We've got a license. We don't have a license plate. I took the license plate off there. No license plates this time. Bumper stickers, shields, a bunch of alternate shields, some headlight decals. There's an updated one that has my head on there as well. Some Red Bull, Red Moose inspired stickers. Not Red Bull, it's Red Moose. And yeah, these are the same price as they were previously. You're getting a lot more stickers, a lot more versatility in the sticker sheet, and all of the best inside jokes. Like Cindy Warm. Man, that's a good one. All right, so these are available on Saturday for order. They'll be shipped out within a week, and you'll get them via regular mail. There is no tracking, so please don't email me asking for tracking, because there isn't any. But one thing to mention, these are a new process, UVDTF. And I know what most people think that stands for, and I don't know what it actually stands for. But instead of just peeling them out of a die-cut sheet, these are printed onto a sheet. So you have to trim them out, but then you stick them on after removing the white backing paper, and then you remove the clear covering over top, and there's no die cut marks, there's no white around the edges, it's just pure sticker. These are really high quality. They're gonna last a lot longer than the other stickers as well, and I'm really excited to get these into people's hands. So these are gonna be $18 US, shipped anywhere in the world. There will be a PayPal link in the link that I present to everybody on socials, whether it be Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Smoke Signal, whatever. There will be a link on how to order these. I'm really excited about this set. Hope you like them as much as I do. Limited numbers, so keep that in mind as well. Don't dilly-dally on your ordering. There will be plenty of notice, though. I'm giving you all the notice I can. All right. On to the next thing, which I promise won't be feet. You probably remember this, or maybe you don't. This is the off-road Porsche that Josh and I did for scale off-road regionals in Colorado a number of years ago. This was a completely bespoke custom project from the very beginning. There is not a single thing on here that wasn't touched by Josh's hands. I mean, he didn't touch, well, he touched parts of this, but this was a labor of love for sure. And it took a long time to put this truck together. The carbon fiber body is completely custom, molded from 3D printed molds, silicone, all kinds of really crazy processes. And this was basically one of two. There are only two of these in the world, but soon there will be a lot more because Josh is opening this up to allow people to build these, and it's going to be wild. It's going to be completely different than this, but also similar. He's reworked the entire body. He's reworked the entire chassis. We had this crazy bell crank system for steering in order to fit it into a Class 1 legal sort of setup. He's done away with all of that. We're going servo on axle for this round. But man, I am so excited because I'm going to be participating in building another one. This one is great. It's a one of two, like I said, but I think it's going to be really fun to kind of play along and build this again. I have my own TIG now, which I'm excited to start practicing with. I can also cut a lot of things on the Makera. So much has changed since I first built this. And with Josh improving the process and improving the body and improving the chassis design, I'm really excited to see what comes of this. And if you're interested in that, go over to his channel. I'll put a link to his channel down below, but I'm sure you've already subscribed. It's so worth it to get involved in one of these build-alongs because there are so many other people doing it all at the same time. So you learn so much and you get to share so much that you wouldn't if you were just building this by yourself and fumbling your way through it like I mostly did. So there you go. Very exciting build. It will have a lot of detail. It will have a lot of capability. And man, who doesn't want an off-road Porsche? Isn't it the best? All right, on to the next thing. Speaking of Beetles, here's the two Beetles that I've been working on, the Zoku chassis and the Northwest Scalar Designs chassis. Not much change in terms of the mechanicals or the chassis themselves, but I have gotten a lick of paint on both of them now. This one's black and this one's brown, but not fully brown. This one's been just sort of like lightly sprayed with a couple of different browns and tans to give it sort of a rust undercoat, because we're going to be doing a chipping method on this one once we get around to actually painting it, which I should be doing soon. There's so many things going on that it's hard to dedicate time to one specific project. These are definitely coming together slower than I had hoped, but they're getting close. Trust me, they will be amazing when they're done. But yeah, just a little update on that. Liveries have already been picked out. Color schemes have already been picked out. It's just a matter of getting those masks cut and actually doing some detail painting, which is, you know, it's one of those daunting things. I want to do it, and I know once I get into it, it'll go quite quickly, but it's the starting that is the slowest. I'm sure a lot of you also have that problem. I know that sometimes it can be tough to get going. That's something you struggle with. Tell me all about it. I'm your therapist today. Take a moment to thank all of my ding-dongs for being ding-dongs. Very much appreciated. I think that's going to cover it for this week. I'm actually really pumped because weather's been good, and I think it's time to actually go outside and start driving some trucks. So I'm motivated. I'm feeling good, and the creative juices are flowing. Hopefully they're flowing for you as well. That's going to do it though. Thank you so much for watching. See you again next week. Don't forget about stickers.